Bienvenidos a Esperanza Pense, donde la Esperanza Pense. Welcome to Esperanza Pense, where hope wins. Hey, thanks for being here. For those of you that stop by every day and give me a little thumbs up and encouragement, yay, thanks a lot. If it's your first time on my channel, welcome, welcome. Bienvenidos. Esperanza means hope, Pense means to win or to prevail. So we like to keep our hopes up around here, even if we're doomed, right? Have some fun with it. Those of you who know me and know me well also know my deck well. This is a Radiant Rider-Waite Tarot deck, 78 cards, and this is kind of like your average standard tarot deck that a lot of other decks are based upon. But guess what? There's more where this came from. Did you know that I have a multitude of decks and I would like to share them with you? I have oracle decks, decks that are based on this tarot deck. I got a bunch of jumpers today, so I'm going to get into it. When I get jumpers, I read them. So let's pray over this little jumpy pile and then we'll read the cards, all right? Okay, 7th of January, 2025. Here, let's put these up top. Wow. I'm not really concerned what order they're in because they all jumped at the same time. So this is just going to be the story the way that it is. I just want to see if you can see. I think you can pretty much see what the cards are doing. I like to have everything like at an angle so that you can see the cards when they come up. So this is our reading for today, the 7th of January 2025. No wonder there's all these cards popping because we're dealing with some Kazemi energy. That blasted Seven of Swords card had to come out again, didn't it? For those of you who follow this channel, you know that the Seven of Swords card and I have had a very interesting relationship these past couple of weeks. It keeps coming out in our readings, so that has something to say about the quality of the air that we're swirling around in, huh? Speaking of air, we have a lot of swords in this reading. Swords is air energy in the tarot. We have air, fire, water, and earth that we deal with in the tarot, and air energy represents Aquarius, Gemini, Libra energy. With Queen of Pentacles here, this is great for taking care of yourself. This is great for getting back in tune with nature. This is great for Taurus activities. This is great Virgo energy too. This is Virgo, this is Taurus, this is Capricorn energy. The sun is in Capricorn right now. This is somebody who's able to take care of themselves and take care of their coin to the degree that they make a good partner or mother and can practically care for others. They might not be the most like mushy, oh, I love you, but they're very practical. They're like, did you bring a scarf? Can I cook something? Have you taken your vitamins? Like, that's the kind of love that we need in our lives at this time. We need love that can build. We don't need love that is like super romantic with Venus and Mars and the sun all in Capricorn right now. The lovers planets are thinking, ooh, who can I pair up with and actually build something over time? What's a practical relationship? Like how can we pair together and build something in reality? Queen of Pentacles is a great person to do that with. Queen of Swords reversed and Queen of Pentacles working together here at the top of our spread. Queen of Swords reversed needs to really get a handle on her intellect. She needs to study more. She needs to watch her words. She needs to be careful that her sword isn't cutting into people. You know, the sword cuts the air. The sword cuts the tension in the air. The sword clears the air. But at some point, there's a real difference between telling the truth and just being harsh. And the Queen of Swords reverse leans to the latter. So with this Queen of Pentacles energy working with the Queen of Swords, we need to practically be able to get a handle on how we speak our truth and how we express our ideas to others. Because if we can't express our ideas in ways that other people can understand, then what good is it to be so smart if other people won't take on our ideas and influence? With the King of Cups, we have a really lovely Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces person, or somebody with a lot of water or a lot of emotion in their chart. This is somebody who's very calm, cool, collected. They're a great father figure. They're a person we can lean on, depend on, even if the waters start getting choppy, even if everybody else's emotions start getting a little bit out of control. This guy can sail the seas and not even spill his drink. The Page of Wands reversed makes us rethink some of the ways in which we're flirting. We're flirting with life, we're flirting with each other, or we're flirting with ideas of how to regenerate our own vitality or our own sexuality or our own creativity. The Wands cards deal with fire energy. Those are our first three chakras: the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus chakra. And with this card, sometimes we can be off to some new starts flirtation-wise, but then it goes boom. And then we're back to honor this energy on our own. Whenever I see inverted cards, I really feel like that's internal energy. And that's similar to my astrologers out there. That's very similar to when a planet's in retrograde. It's like more internal. It's something that we have to consider before it starts coming through clean and clear in our reality, all right? Same thing with the Knight of Swords reverse. We might be getting mixed messages. We might be getting messages coming in so fast that we can't keep track of them, or the messages might be coming slower than we had hoped. Maybe we had hoped for somebody to come rushing through with all the information, and maybe we had hoped that somebody was just going to unzip the Epstein files and all this information comes pouring out. But here with the Knight of Swords in reverse, that's redactions, that's blotting stuff out, that is us receiving information that's not complete, and this is us maybe receiving information that's not on time. So let's make sure that, like, when we're sending our emails, we click send, that when we're setting alarms on our phone, or when we're receiving information from other people, that we're receiving the information in full, okay? And not just bits and pieces that suit the narrative. With the Chariot reversed, this is not a time for us to try to control outcomes. This is not a time for us to take the wheel and start to drive towards victory. Even though we're moving into some Aries energy, we're still in the waters of Pisces, with Saturn and Neptune sitting at the last degrees of Pisces. That water energy is going to be really full. This is a Cancer major arcana card, which is interesting because you're like, this represents Cancer energy. Where's the water? Well, it's kind of behind the Chariot. The Chariot is stationary, and the dark and light forces that we're dealing with here, our personal magic comes from being able to balance like outside forces. This is how we go forward. It's not necessarily because we're galloping or we're like hitting the reins so that our magical sphinxes like spook themselves into action. We're moving forward quickly with this Cancerian energy by being internal, by being soft on the inside, by being in touch with our homeland. However, with the Chariot in reverse, it might be hard for us to leave what's familiar. We might be clinging more to those Cancerian vibes of like the crabs that won't let go. You know what I mean? Sometimes once they get a hold of something, they won't let go. There's that crabs in a bucket energy. So sometimes for us to have our personal path be defined, we need to be able to differentiate ourselves from our tribe and yet still work together to reach that path together. So this is definitely not individualistic energy. This is more energy of needing to take our victories and our internal drive and refine that so that we're still able to work with others. With the Seven of Swords reversed energy, we know what the lies are, but they still continue. Seven of Swords upright is somebody pulling someone over on us and them getting away with it, and us being in the background with our homies in our encampment, not knowing the difference. Like, this person snuck in, snuck out, they got what they needed, and they were done. I could think of somebody that just did that recently in the news. But with the Seven of Swords reversed, there might be a rehashing of that situation. There might be a return. We might have to like return to sender. There might be a catch. There might be a situation where it's like every everybody knows, dude. You don't need to lie. Like, everyone knows. And I feel like that's kind of like what the Seven of Swords reverse has been coming out in our readings, because every day we just sort of get a hit for our intuition so that we could go out into the day and see if any of these card energies come through in the news. It just helps us to have images to focus on as we go through our day so that our intuition gets triggered when we see these themes come up in our reality, because they do come up in our reality. With the Magician reverse, we have like a narcissistic behavior. We have somebody who is enforcing their will upon the divine instead of letting the divine flow through their will. Here in the upright, the Magician is somebody who's a conduit, somebody who takes the power of the divine and channels it down into earth with the tools that they've been given to make beauty for everybody around. And it's an innocent beauty too, with those white lilies there. That's just a really innocent behavior. But here with the Magician reverse, we run into the we run the risk of being narcissistic. We run the risk of like projecting our energy onto other people instead of just letting things flow and letting ourselves be empowered by the divine flow. With the Page of Swords reverse, that's very similar to that Knight of Swords reverse and the Queen of Swords reverse energy. It's just like people need to get a better handle on where they're getting their information from and whether these new starts are true or if they're just in our own minds. With the Knight of Wands coming in, woof, that's romantic, that's flirtatious, that's fiery if I've ever seen it. Leo, Sagittarius, Aries energy. So I guess this could also represent that Aries energy coming in hot. And yeah, because, okay, so we're starting the story up here with the Queen of Pentacles with the Capricorn energy and the Queen of Swords reverse, bringing us into that like Pluto and Aquarius. It could also indicate Uranus moving retrograde, about to go into Gemini, but still being a little bit upside down, topsy-turvy energy. But with the Knight of Wands coming in as the last card in our story, I would say that, like, ready or not, here Aries comes, and it's going to come in hot and sexy and fiery and flirtatious and wild and ready to party. So yeah, I hope you took your nap, and I hope you had your spot of tea during what Leo King would describe as tea and blanket season. Cozy tea and blanket season is coming to a close, so Knight of Wands will rule the day for us coming into the near future. If you'd like to have a personal reading to see what the cards might have to say to you or what these conjunctions could mean in your astrology, Venus, Sun, and Mars are all conjunct in the sky pretty much all week. Yesterday was the exact Venus and Sun conjunction. Today it's all three. Tomorrow it's Mars and the Sun. And then Venus is going to move out in front of everybody and sort of start to lead the way here. So the Martian, need to be athletic and warlike and aggressive is probably going to take a backseat within the next week or two. So that's what I have for you for today, for the 7th of January 2025. Thank you so much for being here, and God willing, I'll see you on the next one. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really does help. And if you could and are able to support the channel, that helps a lot too. I really appreciate it. I like to eat. And if I have any extra, I like to get a beer too. So I really appreciate your support. Peace.